Welcome to Screencast, Kind of Funny's only entertainment-based podcast where we come together and discuss TV shows, movies, and streaming services.
Sometimes that LaCroix just hits right, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh, I felt it go all the way down.
I was going to say we got a little bit of everything today. It's exciting stuff.
A little DC, a little LaCroix.
No, I was talking about movie news, streaming service news, TV show news.
A little bit of everything.
Yep. I'm tired. It's been a long week. You can watch us live every Friday at around 11:23 a.m.
Off to a great start.
Just
one's off to a great energy.
Boom, boom, boom. I need you to get your energy up, Kevin.
It's like two fighters that just didn't want to get up. You know? Where's the fight? Oh, they're both sleeping still. They had a long night last night.
And we all started. You want me to do it again? I can do it again.
No,
I'll do it clean.
No.
I
think we got to just trudge through the mud on this one.
All right, let's just keep slowing it down then. There it is. All right, you can watch us live every Friday around 11:24. And on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, or you can watch us on YouTube or Rooster Teeth. If you don't want to see us because we're ugly, you can go to any of your favorite podcast services and we should be there. If you enjoy any of our stuff, go ahead and give us a like wherever you're watching us. If you want to help support us, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny and support at whatever tier you feel like. Just whatever tier you want. A little housekeeping.
A lot of people loving your shirt in the chat right now. A lot of people.
I don't trust you at all. Like, are they being mean?
No, people actually like the shirt.
The shirt's fucking
People
awesome.
say they like the shirt.
And I wore it because there's a news story it has to do with
I know.
Gremlins.
You did what Tim does, where you match everything to your Jordans. It's great.
Themed.
I thought about getting red laces for the shoes.
You should have.
More about that later.
Well.
Still more about that later. That was it for that. All right, let's go for some housekeeping really quick. Patreon producers. Boy, oh boy, we got a lot of them. I've been giving you guys shit for months, and finally you all came out. I'm taking full credit on this one. Real proud of myself.
Congrats, Kevin. We're proud of you too.
And now to congratulate the people that are great and support us the most. A lot more than most. Robin GL.
Oh, yeah.
Alec Bobco.
Give it to me.
David Mindtell.
Mind freak.
Ant-Man 0208.
I think he likes
So
it.
small. Yeah,
He hasn't said anything about it yet.
Yeah. He must
Mind
like
Freak,
he
if
came
you're
back.
watching this show or listening to the show, tweet at me and let me know if you like the Mind Freak moniker. It's not going to stop either way. It doesn't matter. But it'd be nice to know if you're out there.
And our boy DJ Kento.
Kento.
First he had the DJ, then he had the Kento.
See how it goes?
That's good.
I was going to try to do it like a DJ from Full House, but I don't know how to do that.
What does that even mean?
Isn't that DJ Full House?
Yeah, that's the name of the girl.
Yeah, I was going to try to do an impression of Candace Cameron. But
Got it. Candace Cameron.
Burr.
All right. Also, this show is brought to you by our sponsors, Hims and RX Bars. But more about that later. Now, let me introduce Nick Scarpino, the man with the three-fingered review. Nick, you watch anything good today or this week?
I watched actually a lot of interesting things. Randomly the other night, I sat down and I was like, you know what I'm finally going to click on? The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Oh, interesting.
And I did not
this.
expect to like it. It's an anthology movie. I don't like anthology series. I don't like sitting there and watching characters. Phenomenal cast. Boy, I've never been happier to be wrong. It was fucking great.
Really?
It's so beautifully shot. Everyone that's in it is amazing. The vignettes are unbelievably powerful and good. It's on Netflix. I definitely think everyone should watch it. It's fucking awesome. It's crazy because I was like, I definitely went in with an unfair bias, thinking like this is dumb.
Who made that?
It's the Coen Brothers.
The Coen Brothers. That's
Yeah.
right. I'm very hot and cold with them.
And I shouldn't doubt the Coen Brothers. I love everything they've done. In the
Really?
past.
Even the movie before that, the Caesar, Hail Caesar? Did you like that movie?
Yeah. Okay. Good point. I didn't
All right,
like
because that movie
very much.
sucked. It was
No,
trash.
it was really
I
good.
hated it. People like Barrett liked it.
Alden
didn't think it-
Ehrenreich was great in it.
I didn't think it was a bad movie. I
he was
just
fine.
didn't quite grasp it. But I loved Fargo, and I liked obviously The Big Lebowski is one of the best movies ever made. It's the goat. It's the goat of movies.
Goaty.
Have you seen The Big Lebowski?
It's
You like
fucking
it?
Hilarious.
You think it's one of the best movies ever made?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but it was funny.
I've also been watching a lot of PBS documentaries on Netflix.
It's good stuff.
One about I watched one about black holes, and then I watched one about probability theory.
Was the black hole one called Black Holes Apocalypse?
Yeah.
I really want to click on it.
It's amazing.
It's great.
It's very long,
Oh yeah.
but it does a lot of that cool thing where there's just a bubble in the middle of space and it moves.
It's cool, and it all distorts around
Real
it.
dope.
And then, of course, lastly, but certainly not leastly, I've been watching season 3 of Stranger Things.
Oh,
and I have
good
not finished
stuff.
it yet, so I don't want to spoil it. I don't want anyone fucking spoil it. If you fucking spoil it for me,
Don't look
in
at the chat. Don't look at the
maybe,
chat.
Maybe don't get
Don't
distracted
look
by
at
the
the chat.
chat.
Holy shit. But I will say this. I think I'm very impressed so far. I'm 6 episodes in. I got 2 episodes left, I believe. I think there's only 8. First off, 8 episodes. Shout out. Great.
Yeah, oh my God, that's so fast.
Second off, I love how this series is. I love the 3rd season. I think it's probably the best season of the show to date.
I totally agree
and
with
that's
that.
not a knock against the 1st season or the
Nope.
2nd season. I
Nope.
think those are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I just think that the cast themselves have glued. I think the showrunners have expanded the scope of what the show can be, as far as it's no longer, it's like science horror. There's a lot of science fiction in it. There's different styles of movies, of like 80s style movies in the show
Yeah.
itself. So some of it's a spy thriller, some of it's a sci-fi, some of it's like weird supernatural shit. It's great. I'm
Absolutely.
flabbergasted at how well the show came together. Also, the guy that plays Steve with the amazing hair has quickly become my favorite character. Him and the kid with no teeth. I love that storyline.
Yep. Their friendship is phenomenal.
And also, there's no way you work with that girl all summer at the ice cream stand, and you don't want to make out with her a little bit. Come on, Steve, get your shit together. That's all I'm saying.
I'm very excited for you to
Also,
watch
shout
these
out to
next 2
Sam
episodes.
Goody.
Yeah.
Because they got a Sam Goody.
Sam
I want to go to this
Goody,
mall
dude.
so bad that they've made in this. Are you familiar with this at all?
No.
They were 3 of the characters work in the mall. And they've recreated the mall
An
from my
80s
youth.
mall.
It's from my
Oh,
youth.
it's fantastic.
Tim. It's got a Sam Goody in it.
Yeah.
It's got a Panda Express
Your youth, yeah.
or something like that. I don't know. It's like a Chinese thing.
Yeah,
It's a generic thing, but it's just cool to see. Jazzercise.
I honestly think that this is the best season, and that is not a knock to any of the other seasons.
How hot was that scene when like the older where Mrs. Wheeler's mom was gonna make out with the dude with the great hair? God, he's fucking great. The lifeguard, the bad guy.
No, you think his mustache bothers me
That's
so
why
much.
it's so good.
It bothers me so much.
It's
Everything
eerie.
about him, I hate him.
Oh, you're supposed to.
Yeah, I know. But like, I feel like you're supposed to hate Steve in the first season.
You do.
And then like they flip it on you where it's like, oh, Steve's pretty cool.
Shout out to Steve.
Yeah, shout
Check
out
this
to
guy
Steve.
out. Tell me you wouldn't want to Tell me you wouldn't want this guy fucking your girlfriend.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
that's
it's the Red Ranger.
See that?
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
He announced today that a new Power Rangers movie's happening.
Is he?
And
Is he
he's
the
not
Red
in it.
Ranger?
He was the Red Ranger.
Was he really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
God, he's jacked now, man. I'll tell you what. He's the kind of guy I would let fuck my mom. You know?
God.
Oh, man.
Jesus. All right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Like, I
assume
wouldn't be surprised. If
I'm
like,
gonna
all right,
assume
well,
that's all you
Not
watched.
now, but like in the 80s.
I'm gonna
when
assume
my
that's
mom was
all
kinda hot
you
and
watched.
tight.
And now, Jesus fucking, wow, he got me. Like mid sentence, I haven't. It was like getting hit by a rock
Mom was
in the
hot and
head.
tight, you know? Wow.
All your moms were sexual creatures.
To
at one
your
time.
right, my left, one Tim. I don't know
Take
what.
Timmy.
Geddes.
Yeah, that's me.
You watch anything good this
Yeah,
week?
making my way still through this little show called The Office. Almost done now with season 3.
Oh wow, you're
And
making your way real slow.
That's what we do here.
it get-
But
did it
it
get
is
funny yet?
22 episode seasons. So that's
Which,
a lot.
hey, I'm
That's a
committing
lot.
to this. I'm
No.
finishing the show.
I'm blown away.
I-
I did not expect you
Like
to get
a
this
giant stale
deep.
bag of chips.
I cannot believe how fucking good this show is.
Right?
It just continues
Meanwhile,
to
Nick's
wow
sitting
me.
over here. Well, he's watched
At what
several.
point? So how many seasons do I have to watch for it to get funny?
All of it's funny. Well, season one's not great. It's still good. It's just not great.
I need to just keep going. I'm loving it. I don't think anything's been less or more funny than the other stuff. It's just consistently good. I love the characters. I love the additional characters that they keep adding. When people go away and then randomly come back, I love it. Like it's great. I love that there's such a great narrative thread through all of it, where you're just like, all right, I believe in these people and I care about them.
Yeah.
Fucking Pam and Jim, dude.
right?
Will they? Won't they? I don't fucking
Spoilers,
know.
they do. And
But I love how they're
Good.
going through with all of it because this Karen chick. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
love her a lot.
Yeah, right? She's
So,
a lovable character.
a lot of fun stuff.
I'm very excited to see you continue on your journey. I hope that you give
What's
us
cool for
some
me
solid updates.
is there's a lot of people in it that I didn't know. Like I didn't know Ed Helms was in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that now like people tell me like, oh, that's what everyone knew Ed Helms from. I'm like, I thought he came from The Hangover. But it's like there's a lot of moments like that where there's people that I'm like, I didn't know they were in this
really
fucking
popular. It's the mainstream. Everyone else is like, oh, it's cute that people think this Office show is kind of funny. It's like a solid C+. Like it'll pass you in high school.
I don't understand why you
Brooklyn
have
Nine-Nine's just better.
You don't have to say anything. You can just sit there
Good in
silently.
gaming. 661 says Nick. 99 is better. I stand with you.
I also watched Aziz Ansari's stand-up special.
How was that?
It was extremely interesting. So it starts and ends with essentially a PSA and an apology, and more than that, like a statement of, "Hey man, here's how we should be better." And I thought he nailed it. He straight on hit up the sexual misconduct stuff and was like, "Hey man, I fucked up. Here's how I'm trying to be better. Here's how everyone should try to be better. We got to learn from mistakes." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Holy shit, nailed it." Comedy special in between, it was fine. I laughed a couple times, but it wasn't. He's never been the funniest guy.
Yeah.
Sure.
But man, you could really tell that these last couple of years have beat him the fuck down. Like,
Yeah.
his whole
That's a hard situation
tone
to deal with.
the entire time is he's like, yeah, it's hard for me to make jokes about this or this or this anymore. And so I don't really want to, it's just, and it's like, wow, this is kind of sad and depressing. And he shot the whole thing in the most interesting way I've ever seen a stand-up special shot. There's a roaming like cam really close to him the entire time.
I don't like that.
And there's this like
Tony Hinchcliffe did that for his, and I was like, it's so off-putting.
Yeah.
Because the camera would go in front of him, and I'm like, is the camera stepping in front of the audience right now? That's weird.
And
I don't like that.
It's
Well,
weird.
you gotta imagine that like he's filling up giant, or at least Aziz Ansari has got giant places.
Maybe just a little distracting to
but
see a camera guy walk in front of the one thing on stage.
Well, when we saw Aziz Ansari live, the only one of the two only comedians I've ever seen live, like we were so far in the fucking back, and they didn't have any sort of camera set up.
First off, how dare you? You've seen me live multiple times.
No, I meant good comedians.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, there wasn't a screen or anything behind him, but it was a packed theater.
They put him up real high, Sometimes.
What?
I don't know.
Him?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's
Go
just
ahead.
a little guy.
Not him. I meant the screens.
There was no screens. There was no
really?
screens. Yeah.
They just had the cameraman walking in front of him?
Yeah, because they were shooting it for the special. And yeah, it was weird because like you'd see him, then it would cut to a wide, and like the camera guy wasn't there, and you're like, what the fuck? But then there'd be times where he was like literally like in his face.
Why would they do it that way?
Because they wanted to go for a real intimate, dramatic feel, and like
you
it
have
was
it?
intimate
Yeah?
and dramatic. Yeah, they added this like weird '70s like VHS filter over the
I saw that.
entire thing, and it was just like
And they commit to that.
the entire.
Was
time,
it that,
yeah.
or was it they filmed it on film? It looked like it was film.
I mean, like from the trailers, it looks
very
like it's
grainy
bad
and-
film.
No, I mean, it just looked like it looked like the old school, like when they used to film like a Eddie Murphy concert or Eddie Murphy like stand-up special. It was like film and grainy and crazy.
Interesting. It was directed by Spike Jonze, so I wouldn't be.
I mean, my
surprised
guess
if
is
he
that they
made
might
that
have actually
call.
put it on film, which
Maybe.
is why it looked like an old '80s or like early '90s special.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could be wrong. This could absolutely be a filter.
Yeah, it was just weird. It's definitely intentional. It like was kind of off-putting to me, and I feel like it definitely made the comedy section of the whole thing like less funny.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's tough though. That's a hard situation, right? Because you can't. You have two choices. You can either like talk to people about the situation and try and educate people and try to learn and grow from it, or you can do what Louis C.K. is doing and just completely not do any of that.
Yeah, not get a special.
And neither of
But I
those
also feel
are.
like what Louis C.K. did is worse than what Aziz
oh,
Ansari.
I mean,
you know?
definitely.
yeah. Like Louis C.K. was sexually assaulting people.
Yeah. So, but it's interesting because I think that like, it's tough as a comic. Like you want to have you want nothing to be off limits. But yeah, I mean, when something like that happens, you do have an interesting opportunity, I would say, to teach people how to grow and to show them that.
And
But
it's
I
cool
just
that
don't know if
it's cool that he's
I don't
doing
know if that conversation goes really well sandwiched in between stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Like that's what's so hard about it. And like, is that I don't like
if
that
that's-
conversation puts you in one mindset where you're like, yeah, we should have this. We should have a deep philosophical talk. But then when you're going to go like in the special, it's like the little clip you see from the special, he's just making fun of people. You're like, that seems like you haven't learned anything.
No, it all does fit together. I'm just saying it doesn't feel so much like a full-on comedy special. It does
Maybe it's
feel
not.
like, it feels
That's
like
okay.
more of an extended kind of like all of his jokes are backing up the concept of like, hey man, we got to learn from what we're fucking up.
Sure.
And like I think that he really kind of goes after people in interesting ways to like use them as examples of like how people should probably be changing and growing. And it's like a lot of it is funny, but then there are moments where you're just like, all right, this just seems tame. It seems like there's no point to the jokes that you're making. You're kind of just doing it. A lot of it felt like it was off the cuff, just kind of his first thing he thought of. He was just like, I'm just going to do this.
Working that special for a long time.
Yeah, there's a lot of crowd work that I thought felt rough. Like it just felt like, oh, you're doing this and you're leaving this in to show how, like, this was just one take, man. You know, and you're like, all right.
Well, who
maybe
knows?
you should have done another one.
I'm sure they did a couple.
But then the other thing that I watched that I cannot recommend to any human being is some of the, forgot what it was called, but like historical roasts or something.
Yeah.
On Netflix. It's a new show.
Is it from Comedy Central?
It might be. It's the roast guy. What's his name? Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross, the roast master general.
Yes. So because of the roast, I've been like interested in other people's roasts, and I was like, I want to watch this shit. And have you seen the trailer for this or the thumbnails?
No, but I love Jeff Ross, and I love the
He's
roasts.
great.
I think he's fucking
hate roasts
unbelievably
so
funny.
It's specifically for Netflix. I looked it up. It's
Okay,
it is also
they
called
did it.
historical roast.
Historical roast. They get a bunch of like, actors, actresses, comedians, whatever together. They're all playing
But they
different
roast, like,
historical
Lincoln, right?
characters.
Yeah, some
and then they
shit.
roast like one episode's Abraham Lincoln, one episode is Freddie Mercury, one episode is like Cleopatra, and it's all the shit. And it's just like
Really jumping around in time.
and
Okay.
and it's weird, but it's just like I just feel like I get the concept and it's a funny idea.
It's not a funny
I don't
idea.
understand who the fuck would want to watch it.
It's
though.
I saw that and I was like, this is not a funny idea. I don't want to watch this. I want to watch with roasts. Roasts are supposed to be catharsis for the general public, right? You're supposed to take someone that's a little too big for their britches. Maybe he's 6'2". Maybe he's got great blue eyes. Maybe he's younger than you and more successful than
Tim's
you.
just
and you're
6
supposed
feet.
to just burn him to the fucking ground so that we could. It's the great equalizer. That's what roasts are. When they did the roast of Charlie Sheen, we needed that as a country. Do you understand me?
Yeah, we really
Tiger
did.
Blood and winning
needed
was
that.
winning, and we needed to tear him down a little bit.
And it was the
Historical
only
roast-
good one.
What's that?
It was the only good one.
The Donald Trump one was amazing. They've had some good. The Hugh Hefner one was good too. Look up anytime Anthony Jeselnik roasts anyone. It's fucking great.
fucking great. But yeah, this shit's just weird because I feel like we don't know enough about these people for the things to be funny, and so more often than not, when they were,
Is that an everyone problem or a you problem that you don't know about?
we
these
don't know
people?
enough for it to be like funny shit. The point that I'm making is when there are jokes, it's more of a, oh yeah, that's a thing about that person. There's no joke. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, cool. We knew that about Abraham Lincoln or Cleopatra or Freddie Mercury.
It's
even.
interesting.
You're like, all right.
I would love for them to do a series of roasts like on Netflix where they can go real hard. And maybe this is the entry point for it. I don't know. Are they still doing the roasts on Comedy Central?
No.
Yeah,
one
they
knows.
must be, right? They did one
I assume they do, but
recently, it felt
know.
like.
I'm
But
looking it up.
anyways,
Barrett.
I don't know. Don't fucking watch it. It was bad.
No. Okay.
yeah, it looks kind of dumb.
How much of it did you watch?
I watched it about 10 minutes of those 3 episodes that I named each. And I just was like, and like the cast, there's some fun people there. Aubrey Plaza's in it. I like her.
Was she Cleopatra?
No.
Who'd she
I forgot who she was, but it wasn't great. So anyways,
Yeah, the last roast was Bruce Willis last year, which is an interesting one.
Fun
Hosts-
fact. That's what I based all the artwork for Tim's roast off of because Gia sent me that thumb.
And then that was hosted by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then the one before that was Rob Lowe back in 2016.
Oh, okay.
So no. It
And
seems
then
like
yeah,
for the most
it's
part
very
stopped.
like but the next one it's all it has is a year of 2019 is
Interesting.
Alec Baldwin.
Oh, fantastic! I'll tell you this. I
That's now. That's this year.
Yeah,
we've got 6
I know,
months left.
Kevin.
I listened to an interview with Jeff Ross. He was on Dr. Drew's show, and they got pretty deep. And he was talking about how he started working the roasts when it was actually the Friars Club roasts, when they were like behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Friars Club, when they would bring just celebrities in and roast shit out of them. And he was like, he came in when it was like he was like the super young guy, and all these unbelievably like historic comics from like back in the day where they're just doing the raunchiest material possible. And he's like, it was very weird because he was like, I knew this product was amazing and I wanted to take it to TV, but I knew that when I did that, people were gonna not like it from inside because they were like, this is supposed to be for us. It was basically comics roasting other comics at that point, and like it wasn't meant for the general public because they were kind of worried how people would take all of it, and also the idea was like theirs. Anyway, so he was like very conflicted about that, but he did it anyway. And
Yeah,
it's
not
great.
that conflicted.
Well, I mean, he had to get like their permission and stuff. It was like Buddy Hackett and a bunch of old school like comics that you've probably heard of but couldn't pick out of a lineup. It was just very fascinating. I didn't know he went back that far. It's cool. Everyone was young at one point, including your mom.
hot and tight.
High and tight.
I'm your host, Kevin Coyle. I don't know if I introduced myself because I'm all out of order this week. I watched Stranger Things season 3 and Dark season 2. I didn't watch all of Dark season 2, but god damn, it's a good show. It's a show about time traveling in like Germany or something. I watched it dubbed. It's phenomenal. It's such a
Which one was this?
It's called Dark.
Oh yeah, I thought so you liked it.
I love it.
I'll watch it. I've had it on my
really
queue.
cool.
I've had it on my queue, and I remember you saying you were like conflicted about it at some point.
With season 1,
You
it
weren't
was
sure
like,
if you
I
were
don't
gonna get
know,
through it.
like,
Yeah.
because it's very
It looks
like
dope.
It is crazy. Like, there are some weird shit happening, and you're like, I don't understand. And it just stays that way, but it's like a really like they're doing a good job weaving everything together now in season 2, as far as I've gotten.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Now it's time for some news. That was your fault.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It was my fault. I'll take the credit for that. I'll take
I
the street
came
cred.
up to
You
do it.
hesitated.
Tim,
you gave him
can I
half
have
a
street
second.
cred, please?
You know
Thank
he
you.
did.
Your
All
street
right,
cred.
fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm
I got
just never
street
doing
cred.
it. Nick will do it.
I'll take care of it.
I mean, he's very excited. He'll do it again. It's time for some news.
I'm hopped up on caffeine.
It's not even the same.
It's better. A lot of people in chat are saying it's better.
You're not. You don't even have to
Yeah,
shut
most
up.
people
you
in chat are
fucking
just
liar.
screaming
feel
about
what
Louis
they-
C.K. right now. That's what they're screaming.
Yeah, that's actually what they're doing.
Yeah, everyone, let's segue away from that, okay? We didn't mean to start a fire in the chat. Let's move on. We're gonna talk about some cool shit.
First, some video game news. Video game sensation Cuphead is getting an animated series on Netflix. This is exciting.
I can't wait
'Cause-
for this, and I'll tell you why.
I'm listening.
I'm gonna watch this animated series 3 times, then I'm gonna put on my Twitter thread, I watched Cuphead 3 times.
No way you actually do that, though.
Fuck no, I'm not gonna watch
Exactly.
this. I don't care about Cuphead.
I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be great. I'm really, really excited for what this means for the IP of Cuphead and for Studio MDHR. Like, this must be like a dream come true for them.
I can't even imagine because they
And
worked
one
on it
step closer to
so
Smash.
long,
Yeah.
and like it was so well received.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
I think they're
It's
making the
gonna
right
have a show.
moves
That's
too. That
awesome.
it's not them working
Yeah.
on it. They're having
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Netflix animation team, but that does great stuff. So
but little information is known at the moment.
yeah,
They
Gary
have
Whitta had an exclusive reveal on Games Daily a couple days ago. If you want to go back and watch that, but yeah, that's all. I don't want to say what it is. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's an exclusive Games Daily reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Don't
Thank
twist
you.
my arm, but I'll let
I was
you
like,
know.
what are we talking about? I don't know.
Gary before we went live when this news dropped on Games Daily, he was just like, "Oh man, I actually know something about this. They'll say on the show." And then I was like, "Oh, cool." And then when he said it, he was just like, he's like, "Yeah, I know somebody that works at Netflix, and there was some artwork on the wall of it." It's just like,
Have
so
you
you
seen
know
the
someone
poster?
that has some artwork on the wall?
You know what that reminds me of?
Thanks, Gary.
You know what that reminds me of? Anytime Greg's like, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'll surprise you live. You're like, this is not going to go well.
Oh, wait,
this
have you
is
seen
gonna
the
go about as
poster?
well as a fucking
yeah.
Yeah,
Led
it's cool,
Zeppelin.
right?
It is.
Yeah.
Is the chat working for you, Barrett?
Yeah, just no one's talking.
What did he say?
He said, "Yeah, but no one
one's
is talking."
Oh, wow.
So it could be that it's not working.
I think it's not working.
No,
Yeah.
it is. I see people popping up. They're just
Popping up.
Also, there might be some more news to be announced since creators Chad and Jared Moldenhoser.
I'm Chad. And I'm Jared. And we're together. The Moldenhosers.
I think that's right, actually.
I added an S. That wasn't there. We'll be
whores.
having their first
We're the Molden whores.
San Diego Comic
Our
Con
mama's
panel
tight.
later this month.
Man, she's lame.
So we might get more info after Comic Con. That's exciting.
I like
know-
Chad. He's a nice guy.
Did you know they're making another RoboCop?
I remember a story about this.
I do too. A long
But
time.
here's the thing with with Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah.
Is that he's in that weird area where he's had a couple stinkers, and I think he's developing things, and I'm not sure how far along they are, or if they're actually going to ever see.
What
the
was
light
his
of
last
day.
stinker?
Chappie. And it wasn't very good.
I didn't like it.
And it followed Elysium, which wasn't very good either.
I liked it. I liked Elysium.
Elysium
I didn't hate it.
was serviceable and
Yeah.
passable. It was an
Yeah.
enjoyable film, but it wasn't.
It was
District
cool.
9. He had
No.
District 9, which everyone was like, "Holy shit, this is amazing."
Yeah.
Then he basically just kind of took the same aesthetic and made Elysium. And it was a cool concept, but just not great. And then Chappie, everyone I think unanimously just did not like.
I was at a house buying class last night because she wanted to do that for date night. and they showed a map of San Francisco,
That's
and then
awful.
they like divided it up into a bunch of different districts, and one of them was District 9, and then someone like we all had to pick one, and I picked that one. I was like, oh, great movie.
Was it Bayview?
And then someone was like, Elysium's better, and I almost got in a fight at this fucking.
I was like,
class.
first off,
it's like,
you
are
don't
you
even joke about
fucking
that.
Elysium is better than District 9?
It's not happening. That's not.
Wow, people are
happening.
I
dumb.
won.
They have dumb opinions.
Segueing back to RoboCop, I hope this happens. I like Neil Blomkamp, and I want him to get a couple more shots and make him cool because I think he makes cool sci-fi. And he's it's the same way Jason Reitman's, I think, being very true to the original series. He's bringing back some of the original writers in this. He's trying to stay as close to Paul Verhoeven's original vision of RoboCop as possible, and he's doing what they did with Halloween, where he's basically retconning it, taking just the first movie and doing a sequel after that. That sounds really, really cool. And they're even talking about potentially bringing Peter Weller back as RoboCop. And at first I was like, that's a terrible idea. He can't move very much because he's old. And I'm like, wait, RoboCop doesn't have to move that fast.
But
and
he
all
is
we have to do
old
see
though,
this.
right?
Yeah, but you just tape his face back, and all you have to do is see this one, like, you know.
So he tweeted out earlier that
He's got to be in his like 70s at this point, maybe 80s.
Yeah, he's
almost.
really old. I looked it up. He's really old.
He's a robot.
How old is Peter
Why don't you just Google his image?
72 years old.
Yeah. See, that's like some old shit. You know?
He's not young.
That is some old shit.
But Blomkamp took to social media to give up some updates on the film called RoboCop Returns. According to the filmmaker, the script is being hammered out. In addition, Blomkamp says he'll definitely plans to use the original RoboCop costume. I'm just not good at names.
I know. I just feel like every time you said Ball
It's
Camp, you
different.
said it differently.
You know what?
One sounded like Balloon Camp.
I'm going to balloon camp
Every
today.
time I look at it, there were more
Damn it,
letters
Mom, you
that I
can't
didn't
stop
see
me.
earlier.
I love balloons, and I'm not going to learn how to fucking fold them.
Anyways, so they're using the old suit. I figured you'd be excited, Nick.
It's really cool. I like it.
I never watched the reboot that they did.
Did they do a reboot?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
did a reboot.
When?
They did a 2014 reboot with.
Holy shit,
yeah.
that's right.
That's right. A lot of people don't remember it because
Who
it
was
kind of
the
came and
actor?
went. It's the dude from that sci-fi series that I don't
I
particularly
like?
Joel Kinnaman, I want to say. Is
Yeah,
his name?
Altered Carbon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't particularly like
He's
that
got a
guy as
great
an
body.
actor. I think he's fine
You
as like
see
a,
a
as
lot
a
of it in
supporting
Altered
character.
Carbon.
Yeah, you see a lot of his dick. But
No, you don't see any dick.
it was an interesting concept, but it just basically when they did the reboot, they were like, hey, we're just going to make an action film about this guy who gets turned into a robot, which is not really what RoboCop's about. RoboCop was designed
Isn't
to
it
be
though?
No, it's
But
not.
he's also a cop.
Yeah, okay. So it's a perfect example of what I'm talking about here is that have you seen RoboCop, the original RoboCop?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, it's not. It's sure. It's about a guy that gets turned into a robot, but it's about corporate greed. It's about what the future's supposed to be. It's a commentary on all the crazy shit that people were doing in the '80s, which was like the yuppie
Yeah,
culture
but
and
if you
all these
watch
things.
it when you're 5, it's just about a dude that turns into a robot, right?
That's fair. But there's a lot of things about dudes that just get turned into robots, and so if you're gonna make RoboCop, you need to stay true to the actual like themes and the genre, or the themes and the actual like the subtext of the material. And it needs to be hyper violent, and it needs to be about fucking crazy corporate greed. And I mean, literally, they make robots that kill people, and they kill people in the executive boardroom, and nobody has any problem. They're like, well, just get them out of here. We'll make another one. That's the point of RoboCop. Is it's supposed to be about that excess. And when you just go, you know what's cool? The robot part. I'm like, well, okay, it is cool, but you're missing the heart of the subject matter.
Can you pull up the story that this is on, and then scroll all the way to the bottom so we can see it? Because I haven't. What?
All right.
Thanks. I hadn't seen the RoboCop remake, and I didn't know what the RoboCop suit looked like, and it just looks stupid.
Well, that was okay. So to be fair, that was suit 1 point, like the first version of it. They eventually made it black, which looked fucking dope.
Yeah,
it did look dope. And they did something cool here where, because in the original RoboCop, I don't think they ever showed how much of his body was left, but in this one, it's literally just like they show what it is, and it's just his head and his like spine and like basically just his brain, his skull and his spine, and everything else is the body and like his hand. He had like one hand left for some reason.
Do they
So I
have
was
a
like, "Ditch the
graphic
hand,
ass
who cares?"
scene where like his body gets destroyed?
No.
Oh,
Again,
Dicks get shot off.
sadly.
that was such a good.
They're calling it RoboCop Returns. Fuck
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
are, dude.
that's bold.
Fucking great.
That's cool.
All right, next news story: Gremlins prequel animated series will reveal secret of the Mogwai. It's exciting stuff.
Is it?
I'm excited.
I read this article, and it started off. It was like fans have been wanting a Gremlins 3 for a really long time,
And
and
that's
I
not
guess this
happening.
animated show is the next best thing. And I'm like, it's not the next best thing. It's
But
not.
we're gonna
It's just
finally find out how what's this guy's name? Mr. Wing gets the
We don't need to know how he got the Mogwai.
Mogwai. I just want more
We
Gremlins,
just
and I'm
don't need to
excited
know.
for it.
I don't know. Make a movie.
They're not gonna do
Get
it.
Joe Dante back
Or
and
maybe
make a
just
movie
don't.
for Christ's sake.
They're not gonna. I'm
I'll tell you what, Phoebe Cates
Uh-huh.
and the dude that was in the movie, they ain't doing shit. Get them back. They got kids, and kid gets left home alone. And you know what he finds under the Christmas tree? A Mogwai that eats after midnight, and then he eats his fucking toes. He eats his toes right off.
What?
Eats the little kids' toes.
That's my pitch for Gremlins 3.
That's a terrible pitch. I don't
And
want to
Gremlins
watch
2.
little kids.
Did you see Gremlins 2?
Yeah,
That shit was bonkers.
I loved it.
I liked it too.
Oh man,
I saw that by myself. That was the first movie I ever saw by myself in the movie theater.
Wow.
And I was like, I made a great decision. This is a great movie. They got to the Phantom of the Opera one. I was like, I get that reference. I'm a child. Popcorn.
The first movie that I saw without my parents, I took my brother to go watch Nutty Professor 2: The Clumps.
Hell yeah.
oh man, that
Hell
sucked.
yeah.
Remember when that was a thing? Was I'm gonna play every character.
I hated that.
It's still kind of a thing, isn't it?
I think like few people like Medea does he do that?
He still does it.
Yeah,
Tyler
or, like,
Perry.
or did he stop doing it and only plays the Medea character now?
Oh, that's a great question. I might
Yeah.
be confusing those two. All I know is Eddie Murphy is on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, the next season of that.
Yeah, he was on the trailer.
And I can't wait to hear what Seinfeld has to say to him because his career just went so far the opposite direction of where I wanted it to go. When he started doing kids movies and stuff, I was like, what the fuck happened to Eddie Murphy? He's just
Dr.
gone.
Doolittle, baby.
I mean, he's just cashing checks. Is what
Yeah, I
he's
mean
doing.
that's exactly what it
Dr.
was.
Doolittle,
Okay.
Dr. Do Big, because he's cashing those big fucking checks.
I was thinking it. I'm glad you said
Yeah.
it.
Remember when he did Haunted Mansion? You're like, oh, okay.
God, yeah, I do. Unfortunately.
You know what we haven't talked about in a long time?
What?
MoviePass.
Oh wow, didn't expect that.
MoviePass shutting down for several weeks for maintenance.
Oh wow.
It's just let it die. You know?
Jesus.
Just let it die.
It's like my brother's dog. You know, he's got this old dog, and you're like, just let it die.
Don't say this.
Let
You're
it
gonna regret
die.
saying this.
I know, especially if it dies this weekend. It could die at any second.
Oh, is
really.
it dying?
It's 15 years old, and it
How's
can't
your brother
see
handling
anymore,
it?
and I think it doesn't know where it's at ever. And sometimes it just looks at something and barks, and you're like, what did you just bark at? There's nothing over there, because it can't see.
That's so
He's
sad.
blind as shit.
Just like
They
this
got attacked
news.
by a coyote one time, and my mom beat the coyote up and took it back from it because my mom was babysitting the thing. She felt so bad. I was like, you should just let it take him out from the darkness.
Oh,
That's
God,
how they
that-
would have wanted to go.
What a terrible by eaten by like another
Just a
slightly
giant
bigger
version
dog.
Of him, yeah.
Also,
I'm a terrible human being.
Regal Cinema finally starts their own subscription service.
Regal.
Regal, that is the one.
United Artists.
United Artists and Empire Cinemas
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here.
Okay.
So the two closest theaters to us now have a service. Those theaters suck though. So
Yeah, well, there's
no
a new
reason-
one coming though.
Yeah.
A new what?
The new theater.
Yeah.
What
Stonestown.
what is it?
Regal.
That's Regal too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be ours.
That's-
We'll see. What's
I
the
don't
details?
understand.
What are the pricing?
Real quick, so MoviePass, it's just they're like updating their app, and for whatever reason they have to take it down for a couple weeks. It's just
for
so
them.
sad.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Just let it go. And then Regal Cinema Unlimited will have 3 tiers of pricing. Comes out costing $18, $21, and $24. And each tier will give customers unlimited tickets. However, each tier comes with location limitations. So if you get the 24 tier, you can go to all the locations. And then as you
Cool.
go down, there's less.
All right, that's
Ex-
that's too expensive for me to just be like, fuck it, I'm getting that.
Yeah,
too.
no, absolutely.
Yeah, but
What
still
are you
cool.
gonna- Yeah, it's cool. And if
Yeah.
what is he doing?
Just don't worry about it.
on my calendar.
Why aren't you listening to the show and
Because you're
participating?
talking about Regal Cinemas. I'm an AMC fucking.
But Regal Cinema is also the one
Stubbs.
right here. If we didn't have AMC with the Dolby option,
Stubbs.
I think I'd honestly go with. I think I'd actually do it because it's
My
right
God,
here.
we've only been going for 33 minutes. Doesn't it feel way longer?
Thanks,
It's only
Nick.
been going for 3 hours.
I hate you. Remember, this is the second worst show on the internet. Internet Explorer sucks.
Wow, how dare you! We had a great time yesterday.
He said that yesterday in the intro. I didn't even bat an eyelash.
I love
I
this
miss
show.
Joey. Why didn't I have Joey on today?
I don't know. You
understand.
tried. There was
All
a
right.
while he was like, I'm just going to put Joey on instead of you. And I'm like, no.
News. Joker news. Joker won't have anything to do with the comics, says director Todd Phillips. An interesting decision.
Yeah.
In an interview, he says, we didn't follow anything from the comic books, which people are going to be mad about. We just wrote our own version of where a guy like the Joker might come from. That's what was interesting to me. We're not even doing Joker, but the story of becoming the Joker. It's about this man.
Cool.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm down for
I think
that.
that's a unique take.
Yeah.
And like, go for it.
Smart call.
At least no one will be like comparing you to anything.
No, they will, but
Yeah.
I think this is a smart call. Differentiate yourself as much as possible. We've seen so many Jokers over the years. The world knows the Joker, so
Yeah.
I think that this is a good way to at least be like, hey, we're gonna at least try to just make a good movie. Because the Joker, great character, and I feel like the moment that you're trying to follow any storyline, like especially for an origin story, the origin story of the Joker is the thing no one gives a shit
But
about.
is he a great character or is he a great supporting character? Because I feel like
there's potential for it to be a great character, and I feel like with the look of this movie and with the talent behind it, there's potential.
yeah,
Not a guarantee, but there's potential.
I agree with you.
I still stand by. I don't think this movie needs to be made. I don't think we ever need to see a Joker origin story, even if it's just like one off.
What do you think
what
about the
if
trailer
story.
we saw in the?
I did not like it.
No,
And no, I don't think it looks good. I think I think the Joker works in context of Batman. I think it's the chaos to Batman's order. And I think once you start making these characters, once you try to start making us sympathize with these characters, you have a very, very uphill battle. Same with Suicide Squad was a perfect example where it's like that. I mean, granted, the movie wasn't very well written, but the idea of making Harley Quinn a sympathetic character so that the audience can get on her side is very, very difficult to do.
I keep finding paper towels in my water. I think there might be a paper towel in the ice. It's really upsetting. Because like I'm enjoying water, then I look down and it's like, that's not ice. Those are 2 paper towel bits.
Drink them.
No, it's just,
Drink the
I'm
paper
so
towel.
thirsty too. All right, moving on to our next news story.
He's your friend. I just want you to know
And
that. My
possibly
friend, too.
the most interesting one.
Let's go.
Warner streaming service named HBO Max launching spring 2020, bringing Friends with it. So Friends is off Netflix, or it's going to be off Netflix at the end of 2020, and we now have a name for this crazy ass streaming service that like really has like a shit ton of stuff on it. HBO Max.
I will
It's a dope
say
name.
I am very impressed with the name and branding of this because we've been talking about it forever, and I would have assumed they would have went the Warner route.
Yeah.
like had it be something Warner. I think HBO makes a lot more sense.
A lot more sense.
Like that puts a image in people's minds of quality content. You know,
It
they
does,
wrap
but-
their head around understanding streaming. They've been doing that for years. They've been owning that conversation. Max is cool.
It's interesting. You look at the people that are associated with like all the people under the umbrella of this, and it's a lot of things that aren't up to that standard. You know, it's DC All Access. And then this is not a knock against Rooster Teeth, but like Rooster Teeth makes a specific type of content, like the ones you're watching right now. And that is not what I would expect
This
from a
list is
streaming service
insane.
like HBO. So it'll be very interesting to see. Like I almost think it's kind of a misnomer. I almost think that this is not a smart idea for them because I think it's going to sully the HBO brand a little bit.
Yeah, but I feel like what else they got? Right? Like I feel like Warner. Yeah, I mean, but don't call it Warner. That's too big and is already its associations. Like
But, like-
HBO is a premium streaming service.
Sure,
but
but,
we
like-
know that now with HBO Go and now.
But incorporate. But like, and then this is the hard part about these streaming services.
Yeah.
Like Disney makes sense to a degree because I think everyone kind of knows what's under the Disney banner at this point, right? Like you got the Marvel, you got Star Wars, you got the Disney movies. Like that's the three, the holy trinity of the Disney, the Disney empire. With Warner, it's just such a weird crapshoot, and it almost feels like they're like, what do we got? Let's bundle it all up, let's throw it out there and see what sticks. What should we call it? Well, how about Warner? Well, nobody really knows what Warner is. Really, like I mean, we do. You know Warner Brothers, kinda, but like I don't know. It doesn't have the market penetration like a Disney does, or Star Wars does, or Marvel does, right? So I don't know. Putting HBO's name on this as like the front runner just sounds kind of misleading. I'll just put it that way.
I think that it's showing the direction they're trying to take, and I think they're trying to change what people think of a lot of the properties. And I imagine that what they're going to do eventually is get rid of the Go and Now and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
and
try
it's
to
just
make it
going to be
the-
Max.
HBO is the like headline of it, and then underneath it, all the other stuff is like they're not going to be pushing Rooster Teeth on the
No, God,
the main
no. I mean,
thing,
maybe,
you know
but
what I
who
mean?
knows?
I mean,
But
No,
some of the
doubtful.
shows, but that's the thing is like there is a lot of quality stuff there. Adult Swim, Cartoon Network. Like when you look at the list of all the stuff that they own and the stuff that they even promoted in there's
so much. Like it's insane. We've got HBO, Warner Bros, New Line, DC Entertainment, CNN, TNT, TBS, True TV, CW, Turner Classic Movies, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Crunchyroll, Rooster Teeth, Looney Tunes, and more.
I mean, they own anime at that point.
Yeah.
You know. So it's like there is a lot of stuff that I feel like it's just about organizing and making sure that the app and the streaming service is clear to people. Where like with the Disney, it's like cool, people understand what Disney is, but there's still people that are going to be getting Disney Plus just for Pixar, or just for the animated movies, or just for Star Wars and the premium original programming. And
but when you look at that, you go. So you just mentioned like 3 things that are actually like selling factors, right? Like with this HBO. Like I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, you're gonna get programs from HBO, Warner Brothers, New Line, DC.
I just did that list.
I know. I'm just looking through and trying to figure out if any of these actually, like HBO, sure. Everything else, I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need
New
Turner
Line's
Classic.
been doing movies for like what, a long ass time.
Listen, I love New Line Cinema and
Yeah.
I love the Scream series just as much as everyone else, but like, it's not going to get me to spend $10. You know,
No, but HBO already got you to spend the $10.
Exactly.
You know, so these are just like, oh hey. Now I'm blading through stuff, and it's like, oh, I didn't realize that Home Alone is in here.
yeah, there's just more content there. But also, I think that
Also, shout out to Warner Brothers for Harry Potter.
other way to look at this is, yeah, they have Harry fucking Potter.
They will have Harry Potter.
But looking at this, it's like there's already a bunch of services that are getting paid for month to month. You know, people pay for Crunchyroll, people pay for Rooster Teeth.
I mean, if you roll all those up,
People pay for
you
DC.
do have a little bit better of a selling point. That is true.
And then you have that one number to fight Disney with, or whoever else.
Yeah.
But
Netflix like that.
Disney's number's so low. It's. I hope that this is it. We're in the beginning of these streaming wars. Like this is actually when stuff is getting pulled off of Netflix left and right, and like we're really coming together and being like, do we want to keep Netflix? And it's interesting. Like I'm very curious to see how the next 6 months pans out when we actually have confirmed prices for all these things. Because I don't think we have a price for Max.
No, I don't think we do either.
Oh, it sounds really cool too, just calling it Max.
Jesus.
What? I like it.
We'll see. I mean,
yeah.
I just feel like you're right. Like this is the
I think-
beginning of a paradigm shift in what we're doing.
But I think that Disney coming out with such a low number is gonna cause a chain reaction that other people have to consider that when they're coming out, especially when their offerings aren't going to be as like broad as Disney's. Very exciting stuff. Now for more exciting news. Marvel Studio confirmed 90 minutes of San Diego Comic-Con panel in Hall H.
Yeah, so this panel's happening Saturday. Kevin Feige's coming out with a bunch of surprise panelists. They haven't announced who. You got to imagine this is going to be the one where they announce.
You think it's what it is?
At least my gut is we're going to at least see something about Black Widow and Eternals. Like whether it's just casting confirmation. Like
90
I think
minutes is
that
a
we're gonna
long
get,
time.
Yeah, it is. You know, but like they can also do a lot of retrospective shit. Like 90 minutes will go by fast. I don't think it's going to be filled with crazy ass announcements. But there's also a panel the day before on the Friday there's 2 panels. One that is an hour long from the writers of Endgame, and one that is the Russo brothers. And the Russo brothers put out a tweet that was just the dates of their panel and the audio of the first footage of Infinity War reveal that they put out at Comic-Con. And it's like, we have some footage. You hear the audience go fucking crazy and shit. And it's like the most hype thing possible. And it's like, why would they do that if they're not going to show something at their thing too? So I don't think the Marvel Studios panel is going to be the only place we get.
Haven't they
Marvel
said they're
news.
not doing stuff anymore for a little while with Marvel?
They did, which is why this is
Yeah,
interesting.
it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Misdirection.
Yeah.
I mean, that just sounds like lying.
But when did they last say that?
It was like a week, like 3 weeks ago or some shit like that, like very
interesting.
recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which they could just be lying, and they could have not been working on something then, but they are now.
Sure.
Fantastic Four.
And our last news story for the week: the Little Mermaid remake finds its Ariel. Singer. How do I say this name, Tim?
Halle Berry. No, I don't know.
No, Hallie.
Is it Halle though?
Yes.
Okay, Halle Bailey. Wants. Yeah, they announced Little Mermaid's gonna be Halle Bailey.
I was unfamiliar with her. I looked her up. Her voice is amazing.
Yeah.
She's gonna nail it. Can't wait to hear her sing "Part of Your World."
Yeah.
It's gonna be dope. I really hope that damn it, I'm blanking on his name, but the guy ends up being Sebastian or whoever the fuck he wants to be. The Terry Crews.
Terry Crews wants to be Sebastian.
He wants to be someone. I think it's Sebastian.
That
or wait,
would be the
was
best.
it Makuga that wanted to be Sebastian?
I think it was Makuga that wanted to be Sebastian.
Terry wants to be the Triton.
Yeah.
Triton, not Sebastian.
I love
I mean,
it.
to be fair though, if they were like, listen, we got one part Terry, I think he would knock it out of the park because he's on the best show on television, 9-9.
I've never seen it. Do you
9-9?
recommend it?
9-9.
Now it's time for some ads.
Let's shoot it through the
All right,
urethra.
all right. Let's talk about some Mulan, huh?
Okay. Oh, you guys talk about that. I gotta pee, but I like the trailer.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Not buttered, baby.
I really like the trailer.
Yeah.
There's a lot less singing than I'd like there to be,
Yeah, it's
but it's a different tone. This
It's a
is
very
this
different
is a very
tone.
serious movie that's gonna have some cool action. I think.
I think it will too. I have many thoughts about this. You know, it sucks because there's two sides to it. On one side, it's like, what's the point of these remakes if they're exactly the same? The
Absolutely.
other side, it's like, okay, well, when I remember Mulan, the things that I liked most about it, like number one was definitely the music.
Yeah.
So
Number two,
taking
Eddie
that
Murphy,
out-
right?
And Eddie Murphy, you know,
Mushu's great.
he's on. I'll put Mushu on the list. He's on definitely
Yeah,
on the
he
list.
is.
He's
Yeah.
on the like list, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you take those things out, and it's like, all right, this could still be good. It could still be-
Cross-dressing
could
also
still be
on the like
great.
list?
Great. Well, so
Because it went both ways, Tim. It went both ways.
they nailed it. They nailed it in Mulan. But I feel like everything I'm seeing with this, I think this is going to be a good movie.
I think so too.
I think that when we see more of it, I'm going to be way more hyped for it. I was a little bored by this trailer.
Interesting.
I thought it just looked a little stale overall. And it's like, it's not because of the lack of music. Because honestly, at the end of the day, this did have Reflection, an epic version of Reflection playing behind it. And I'm like, all right, I got some chills.
You're
from
so
this.
good at
I
like
got some
catching those
chills.
things.
But I just feel like the little glimpses of action we saw, I was like, that could be cool.
Yeah.
But how much are we going to get of it? My biggest problem with it is, like I said, it just kind of looks very just run of the mill overall the entire time, where I'm like, I don't know if I'm invested in this watching the trailer. And I didn't really clearly see like, oh, she's the guy now. Oh, she's the girl now. You know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
They,
oh,
they
was
did
this just
show
a
that
girl
scene
the
where it like
entire time?
transitioned over and she's like training. But
it's
it
just-
was very
we
quick.
didn't see her in the context of the guys enough
Yeah.
for me to be
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
she's passing as a guy.
There was a moment that I really liked where like all the women of the family were getting together and like they were doing the painting, like
It
the
looked great.
makeup, and it's like, this looks great. Also, I hope that we get the scene later on where they dress up the guys that way to sneak them out. Because like
That'd be great.
it
I
looks like
think
it
they
can
will.
be. Yeah, no.
I loved seeing the scene where there's all the guys training with the sticks at the same time and they're moving. Jimmy Wong in there.
I know. I saw his tweet
My boy
about
Jimmy
it.
Wong. I can't believe he's legitimately in the movie
pretty
as
cool.
one of the guys.
Yeah.
So tight. So tight. But that scene was great. But you know what would make it cooler to me? If Be a Man was playing behind it.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah,
it is the
yeah.
scene.
That'd
But
be really
whatever.
good.
Again, I'm
I
still
mean,
still stoked for it. but
They'll probably do an orchestral version of it or whatever.
I hope. That's all I need. That's all I need.
Yeah. I'm glad that they're kind of diverging away from the animated version just to take an opportunity to retell this story more based off of the actual legend of Mulan. So, like, a lot of people are like, no Mushu, like, no songs and stuff. I was like, but that's not the
But, I
original
mean,
story.
He might still be in there though, just because we haven't seen
There's
it.
a bird in here that everyone's saying might be him.
I hope
Yeah.
not. Well, she has the cricket, right, too. So the bird might.
Was a cricket in this?
No, I didn't see the cricket in this. But I do hope that they're just not showing us certain elements, like comedic moments, like them all getting the makeup on. And,
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah.
This is the one I'm most worried about just being like totally missing the mark in the way that I feel like Cinderella did, where it's like we've seen the story so many times. There's certain things that we like about it. Don't double down on the other stuff. But I'm hoping that I'm wrong about that, because I do think this has potential to be great. I want to see another trailer that kind of shows a bit more elements to this.
I hope we get because I think that this is setting the tone, so it's like, oh, it's serious. I hope the next trailer can show that there's gonna be some levity in it. Next trailer we're talking about Wu-Tang,
Yeah.
an American saga.
Tiger style.
This shit looked fucking dope.
It
First
looked
off,
really
you put
good.
this on there, and I
Casting?
was like, "Oh, what a weird idea." And
Yeah.
then I click on it, and I'm
Watch
like,
the trailer.
"Fuck."
You hear that
Yeah.
sample, dude?
Fuck.
There is nothing like the cream sample, dude. It's
Yep. So
perfect.
cool.
And then when the beat drops later in the thing, and like you get that zoom out of the whole cast, I'm just like, fuck. The guy they cast as ODB,
Yeah.
where did they find him?
I don't know.
That's
I'm guessing they
like
call
Ice
Cool
Cube's
Greg.
son. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where you're
yeah,
like, damn.
Yeah.
You really
This
lucked
was
out
like straight
there.
out of Compton vibes, where it's like where they found the dude to play Snoop as well. It's like,
Yeah.
where the fuck did
What?
you find this guy?
Insane, man.
PD Pop Off in the chat says, "Is a Wu-Tang trailer?" Yeah, it's a Hulu original series. Here's what I'm excited about. I don't know anything about Wu-Tang really, so it'll be interesting to see to maybe learn a little bit about these characters.
Did one of them go to train with Shaolin monks?
Here's my thing. I similarly, you might be surprised. I do not know that much about
think
the
anyone
Wu-Tang Clan. Brian Altano does.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
sure.
gonna say Brian Altano.
But I mean, I just, I was not that much into. I mean, I'm into New York hip hop, but like that definitely wasn't my scene.
Call Greg Miller.
Greg's not gonna know.
He's from that side of the world.
I don't know how this all works, but I'm very excited about this because I want to learn some shit.
Yeah,
and
like,
here's some
this
fucking
looks-
dope
He's from
beats.
Chicago. That's very different from New York.
It's close enough.
No, it's not.
Can you name a rapper from Chicago?
No, not to save my life. Put a gun to my head.
Who's the biggest rapper, Kevin?
Greg sucks so
Ever?
bad.
Yes.
Why would he not answer this phone? He knows we're doing a
Ever?
show.
Jay-Z.
He's probably all right.
Second one.
He's the worst.
The second biggest rapper then.
Eminem.
Okay, Kanye West is what we were going for here, but yeah.
He's from Chicago?
yeah, he is.
Chi-Town.
Chi-Town, baby.
Chi-Town.
Oh, so
All
similar.
right, Nick.
Kanye West, he's crazy, right?
Yes, he is.
This looked like a really dope trailer.
Yeah.
I'm happy Hulu's doing cool shit. I hope it's great. I love that the actual, the people involved from Wu-Tang heavily. So
But aren't you worried that they're like rose-tinted glasses then?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Tell me the story of how they fucking made Triumph. I don't care about the
Tell me
accuracy.
their story
Yeah.
of how they made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
how it always
That's
goes.
I love here's
They
the thing.
skipped a couple spoilers. They skipped a couple pertinent things in Straight Outta Compton also.
Yeah.
It's true.
You know,
I'm fine with that shit. I want that moment where it's just like he's like, yeah, play that beat again. No, rewind it. Play it back that way.
I like how they always do it.
And then they cut, and it's just like a stadium full of people jumping up and down.
Yeah.
I like
Give me
those
that.
moments. That's all I need.
Next trailer we are talking about is called Driven.
It's the sequel to Drive or something.
No?
I thought
No.
so too.
No.
It's not.
This is
It's about John DeLorean.
awesome looking.
It looks so cool.
Same day, theater, and digital.
Yeah, I'm excited about
Oh,
that.
that's interesting. I don't like that one bit.
I do because I
No,
want to see
make your choice. Make your goddamn choice. You can't go wherever the hell you want.
This is
That's how
not
the rules work.
necessarily a movie that I want to rush out and see in theaters.
I'm not seeing this movie.
Unlike the movie
know
with
too.
whatchamacallit, Matt Damon and Christian
the-
Bale about the 24-hour war, like the
Is that what
what's
it's called? 24-hour war?
No, it's called something else, but that was the
Ford
documentary.
and-
Ford versus Ferrari is what it's
Yeah,
called.
that's it.
That movie, I'm like, fucking
That movie looks
biggest
great,
screen
yeah.
possible. Let's watch that. This is just going to be an interesting story. I mean, the story of John DeLorean is really, really kind of a tragedy. The guy was a genius. He was a executive, I think, at General Motors, I want to say. And
Was it not Ford?
well, maybe it was yeah.
Because didn't he walk up to a
Yeah,
Mustang?
the GTO.
Yeah.
He walked up with GTO. And he was very, very well respected and decided he wanted to finally make his own car. And he made the DeLorean. It wasn't a very good car.
Dude,
and he had a lot
DeLorean's
of manufacturing
awesome,
problems.
though.
Yeah, but did you ever watch the documentary about it?
No,
How they
I
like
haven't.
basically were like, well, we can't build a car from the car up because that's too expensive, or from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to basically use different parts from different other cars. So like the chassis is a Lotus. The actual design of
Which
it, if
makes
you
sense.
look, it's actually
Yeah, it
a
looks very
Lotus.
similar.
They're using like Honda brakes or some other shit like that. I got that one wrong, but they're using brakes from like different manufacturers. So he parted all this stuff together, thinking I'm going to make this cool car, but it had engine problems, it had manufacturer problems, and he went into debt. And then they basically entrapped him.
But at the end of the day, he made a cool car.
Well, he made a dope
He
car
made
that
one
will
of the
forever
coolest
go
cars.
down in history because of Back to the Future, which
God.
is fantastic.
When they're like, why did you put it in a DeLorean? He's like, well, I mean, it's a cool car.
Yeah.
yeah, it's,
That's all you
it's
fucking
such a
need.
good.
Why'd you
Yeah.
make it into a DeLorean? It's awesome. I like Lee Pace. I think it's cool that What's His Butt's in this, even though he's always like these weird.
Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, thank you. He hasn't had a hit for me in a while. I liked him in Booksmart, but I didn't particularly like. I didn't think he was great in it.
Oh, I thought he was great in it.
It was just kind of a weird character where you're like, this is inappropriate. So I don't know.
It looks fine, whatever.
Nothing.
I'm not going to watch it, but I don't know anything about John DeLorean or anything, really.
But doesn't it, like-
I love that his name is John DeLorean. Like, John DeLorean sounds like if I were like, there's ask Nick, who made the DeLorean? You'd be like, no, John DeLorean.
It's like Johnny.
Frankie. That's Frankie DeLorean.
Made up shit.
John DeLorean's brother.
It sounds like Johnny Silverhand almost.
They did some bullshit, but it's dope as fuck.
As a last name, DeLorean is fucking rad.
I love that in the trailer they're just like they make some reference to like your name's not on the car. He's like, I will be one day. It's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, and that's why you named the car John.
Cool concept.
Yeah.
Stainless
The John.
steel. Those things were made of stainless steel, which is like the worst possible thing you could have
Is
made.
it because it's heavy or
No, because
No, 'cause it
I
rusted.
forgot what it was, but
is
I
it
think
not
it was.
rust? I thought it was supposed to not rust.
I just
No,
think it was
a rust
like
issue with the DeLorean.
I can't remember. I just remember it being a bad
I
material.
swear, I'm
to
not
make it of.
joking. I
It
swear to
seems
God.
like
I
you
remember
are.
Ryan McCaffrey was really into them, and he was talking about
Yeah,
how
he had a
it's-
DeLorean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I do know that a lot of the paint coating that they put on cars is to actually stop them from rusting. Like that's the point of paint. But they'll put a sealer on cars first, and then they'll put the actual paint on, and that keeps the rust away. So I don't know if an all steel car exposed. I mean, stainless steel's not supposed to rust, but haven't you ever had one of those like stainless steel coffee pots or like a teapots, and you look and there's little rust sparks on it? It'll rust eventually. It wasn't
I
very
don't
cool.
like tea.
It wasn't a cool. It just had cool doors. Let's be honest.
It-
And at the end of the day,
no, overall, it's a cool goddamn car. But like, I know that it's a weird story, and I'm excited to hear about it.
One of my favorite Lil Wayne lyrics of all time is, "When my doors open up, they open up."
Hell yeah.
It's a great line.
Yo, Tim, you see the story about Lil Wayne? We got to talk about it after. Oh, we got to talk about it afterward.
is it messed up?
Lil Wayne.
Hey, what happened?
He's touring with Blink-182, and he basically like bitched out of his set like halfway through last night and said when he was leaving, it's like, this might be my last show of the tour. They've been on tour for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. We got to talk about it.
He doesn't want to deal with them white people shit. You know what I mean? I get it.
I get it. Next trailer, we're talking about The Righteous Gemstones.
The HBO show
Yep.
with John Goodman and Adam Devine.
John Goodman was in for like 1 second. Interesting.
Danny
you caught
McBride.
That. Danny McBride is the. I
Danny
can't
McBride
wait.
is God's gift to the world.
He's just. I don't understand how he's so perfect.
And
But every
versatile.
time, I like to believe that
No.
every time.
Not
No, yeah,
versatile.
it's just the one character.
He just plays the same character
Yeah.
over.
I mean,
But
well,
I
I'm
love
saying
him.
he directed
You know what?
Halloween.
Oh, he did. Well, did he direct that?
No,
He wrote it.
didn't he
wrote
produce it?
Halloween.
He wrote and
produced
produced
it.
it.
He did something
Here's what I'm
on
gonna say about
Halloween.
Danny McBride though. Danny McBride's sea salt. You ever had something that had sea salt on it that you didn't or weren't like, you know what? This sea salt really adds to this.
That's
Damn.
really good.
Damn.
That's really good.
I didn't
what I
get
mean?
what you're
Yeah.
saying, and fuck, you're right. though.
Right?
Yeah.
You look
Yeah.
at the dessert, it's like dark
God,
chocolate.
I want to get an
dark
RX
chocolate
bar
lava cake
so bad right
with
now.
sea salt. You're like, the sea salt sells it.
Yeah.
He's great. It's the same thing. It's same sea salt, but it just goes on everything.
Yeah.
Put sea salt on pizza, better.
I've never had that.
Neither have I. Let's try it later.
I'm excited. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's get a freaking
Why'd you
Steve
say
Aoki
if
pizza.
it was better if you haven't tried it yet?
He's because
I'm
he's
just
just
saying, sea salt
We
on
know
things
it.
are better.
Yeah.
Sea salt on bacon, better.
Danny McBride on pizza.
Nasty. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big old boy. Anyways, this trailer looked cool. This looked like a really fun show about corruption in like those mega churches.
I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Adam Devine, by the way, I've always
going on
loved, but I watched on the plane ride back from Austin. I watched Isn't It Romantic?
Ugh.
And I actually kind of
Was
liked
it
it.
really?
Did you really?
Oh,
I
it
also
wasn't
watched
worse.
it.
it.
Okay.
Of course you
It
fucking
wasn't
did.
good, but it was serviceable on a plane flight, and it got a couple chuckles out of me. They needed to go a little harder.
I feel like
though.
there were better things on.
Well,
That
I watched
same
Aquaman
plane.
on the ride there, so
It's pretty good, right?
not that bad.
there
You know what, Kat?
it is.
Not that bad.
All right, next movie, Knives Out.
Knives Out, the Ryan Johnson, written
Johnson.
and directed whodunit movie,
Right.
with an amazing cast of characters.
Amazing
I'm in.
cast.
Yeah,
I
that's great.
really
Yeah.
like it when Daniel Craig uses any accent.
What did he call him?
Just at all.
The Kentucky Fried, or he's like, it's
What is the
CSI,
CSI?
KFC.
KFC. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
Chris
look,
Evans.
this cast looks
Anna
amazing.
de Armas,
Anna de Armas, a little Jamie Lee Curtis coming
Ooh,
back.
little JLC
Yeah.
baby.
It's got
What's the mom from Hereditary?
Tony
Collette.
Tony Collette.
And more
And then it's-
importantly, isn't Chris Evans in this as well?
Chris
Yes,
Evans is in it.
yes.
It's so-
Is
I
it
love
more
fucking
important?
Evans.
Yeah.
Is it more
Yeah, back
important?
to being kind of a fun,
Fucking-
like asshole character.
Captain
Love
America? Yeah, that's the most important.
And
All
Tony
right.
People
Collette.
assholes.
She deserved an Oscar last year, and we all know that's fucking true.
It's true.
It's also got what?
Thank you, Tim.
God damn.
Chris Evans never earned an Oscar.
But you know what? He
Stanfield.
served for
That's
this
his name.
fucking country.
It's America's
Like the
ass.
character.
Yes.
Oh, and it has
That's not
Lakeith
him.
Stanfield.
Yeah,
that's
you don't know
right.
that.
God, I fucking love him,
I can't
man.
remember his name. He's
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
The cast looks phenomenal. The overall plot and like fun tone
It's
of
cool.
the movie. was-
I love movies like this. By the way, this is how every great British detective story starts, where like someone dies in a house and the detective has to come because you guys can't leave. It's very. I love this shit. I will see this in a heartbeat. I like Ryan Johnson, despite some of my opinions on his
I
last
felt
movie.
like you said you didn't like
I
Ryan
love
Johnson.
Ryan Johnson.
Really?
I love Brick. Yeah, Brick's awesome.
Yeah.
Brick's on Netflix right now. You should watch
See,
it.
aside from his last movie, I love Ryan Johnson. What's the Brothers Bloom? Fuck, I
You
love
like
that
Brothers
movie
Bloom?
so
You
much.
like Looper?
Looper, yeah, great.
I think he's a very good filmmaker. I just didn't
Lakeith
appreciate
Stanfield.
his vision of.
It doesn't matter. Let's not go into it.
Ooh, why does that name sound familiar?
So he was L in the Death Note movie.
oh,
Yeah.
and he's
but he's
in Get
also
he was Snoop in
Snoop Dogg in Straight
and,
Outta
and he's
Compton.
also in Atlanta as like one of the
Yeah.
friends, and he's fucking
recently,
amazing in that show.
He was in that Netflix movie with Gina Carrera.
yeah, like the hookup movie or
Yeah.
some shit.
Oh, yeah.
And
That was a
good.
cute
He was
one.
great in that one, man.
Not a great movie.
I love him. No, not a great movie.
and
but
he
he
was
was
cute.
great.
And even more importantly, he's in Sorry to Bother You, which
Yes.
is like one of the best movies last
Yeah,
year.
he's so fucking.
Yeah, the ending of Sorry to Bother You is so interesting.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's
I'm waiting for it to come to Netflix.
you're gonna hate it.
I thought that it was an interesting take, like the Ryan Johnson stuff. I was like, whatever, this movie looks good, I'm in. But I thought it was interesting the way that they kind of promoted it towards the end, where it was like the, it's a whodunit, like you've never seen anyone do it or something. I'm just like, are you really doubling down on the subverting expectations stuff? Like that doesn't seem like a good call marketing wise, but go for it.
It seems like it's gonna be a fun Clue movie, you know?
Yeah,
like
that's-
that's,
and I'm in.
I think it's going to be like
and
that.
if it somehow tries to subvert my expectations, awesome, because I don't care about it, you know?
Well, to be fair,
we gotta be careful. We're treading a delicate line.
A whodunit murder mystery should subvert your expectations, because if it doesn't, then it's not a very well played murder mystery. If
No,
you
I
know
totally
who did
agree.
it from the
I-
fucking beginning, you're like,
I just think it's weird that they
There should
put
be a
that
twist.
in the
It should be
marketing,
fun.
like that they're pushing it that way. It's like,
yeah. Well, they were like, listen, half the audience loved Last Jedi. Let's just market to them.
yeah, it's weird.
I don't know.
right.
Honestly, I think this movie looks fucking great.
Yeah.
I love Daniel Craig. I love the cast. I'm gonna see this movie. For
Me
sure.
too.
Me too.
And actually, and how fun for Chris Evans. So he doesn't have to play a PG
Yeah.
character anymore. He can talk shit about people the entire
love
time.
it, man.
Like, you're an asshole. You're an asshole.
Let's talk about our last trailer, Jumanji, the next level.
Look, guys, can we just fucking sit here and have a real conversation about this? How is the third Jumanji
don't know.
movie this entertaining looking?
I don't
It
know.
looks
when the
great.
trailers start, I was like, I don't know that we like they really knocked it out of the park with the last one. Surprisingly, like
Yeah.
not that it was a perfect movie, but like
No,
the
but it was
standards were
good. It was-
so
yeah.
low that watching you're like, that was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Then you see this trailer and you're just like, what are they gonna do? Are they just gonna do it again? No, they're flipping it all. Everyone's different characters. That's all they had to do, and I'm like, I'm in. I'm fucking in.
You got to figure there's more characters though, right? Because the other two,
No, because like the kid's stuck there somewhere.
yeah, he's got to be in there somewhere, right?
Yeah, but like he's probably some other character.
Is
Maybe the plane
Aquafina in
guy.
this?
She is.
Is she?
Yeah,
damn, she's
for
in
a
everything.
brief second, you see her.
Yeah.
and the action
I
scene.
like her. I
The
hope
action
she
scene with
stays
all
in
the
everything.
spinning bridges at the end with the monkeys all
Yeah.
around. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But it looks
They're
awesome.
playing monkeys and bridges, dude.
I'll
Hell
say this.
yeah,
I'll
man.
say this. Kevin Hart as Danny Glover, where he's like, he's having a heart attack. Jesus. I'm like a little small, muscular man.
I am shocked at how good those like they look in those scenes. At like we're seeing a lot of great acting from both The Rock and Kevin Hart that I didn't know they were capable of. I'm being totally honest.
Well, also, I mean,
Yeah.
it's Jack Black. Jack Black nailing the character. Where he's
Sure,
like, damn it,
sure.
I'm the nerdy fat
but
guy.
Jack
Like,
Black,
that's so good.
Jack Black, you know, he's got the chops.
We'll see. I mean, the first time I watched it, like, or I should say the first part of this trailer, I was like, I am not 100% sold on this. I don't know if The Rock, I don't know if I want to watch 2 hours of The Rock being Danny DeVito's character.
So excited about
but
that.
then by the end of the trailer, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
all right. And honestly, I don't have tremendous expectations for Jumanji. I just want to go on and have fun. And I think that's what this movie is.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I think it's crazy that they sold tickets to this movie. 3 tickets. We're watching this movie in theaters probably.
Well, I just love I love Rock. I could watch The Rock and Kevin Hart talk shit to each other for 2 hours. I would buy a ticket for that. I would literally, if they did a stage play where it was just them talking shit to each other, I'd be like, here's $20.
I think it's too mean. The Rock's just so successful, and Kevin Hart is
Kevin Hart's
just-
tremendously successful.
because is it Like, was he beforehand?
Oh yeah.
But like,
That's why they
as
got
a
together.
Kevin
comedian,
Hart
I
is
feel
one
like.
of the only comedians that sells out stadiums.
Yeah.
But is he still doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like
Oh,
that was
yeah.
like 6 years ago.
His last special
His
came
last
out.
special, he sold out the
his.
O2 in London.
Jesus.
He's fucking
That's where
ridiculous.
you
He
guys
might be one of the
went
most
for
successful
something,
stand-ups
We did a
of all
meet and
time.
greet there.
Yeah.
Didn't sell it out though.
Did
Well, I mean, you guys weren't trying. They weren't
To be
trying.
fair,
They weren't trying to sell it.
our
out.
meet and greet was in the same arena, but our meet and greet was at the.
The, like,
We were at the KFC around the
Yeah.
corner.
We were at the Cheeky Nando's.
Yes, of course you were.
That's in it. So we sold out the food court area.
Cool.
Well, I wasn't trying.
Part
I
of
was
it.
just trying to be like,
Oh, yeah.
the size of it.
Honestly, Kevin Hart.
big.
One of the reasons why I really appreciate Kevin Hart and The Rock is like those are the two. Those are what you get if you just keep grinding and just don't lose your fucking mind and don't get eaten up by Hollywood. Like those guys just put the fucking work in, and it's so cool to watch.
Kevin Hart looks like he's gonna be hilarious every time
He's
he
funny as
talks.
shit. I try. To
What
be
a
fair,
great
I
concept.
watched Night School.
Yeah.
like half of it. I
Yeah.
couldn't get through it.
But yeah, see, I feel like he's been doing
But
movies
that's
like
the-
that
that's
for a
what The
little
Rock,
while.
though, dude. Some of his movies, most of his movies are hit or miss too. You know, like Jumanji 1, when he did Jumanji, great. But everyone forgets Baywatch came right before that, as did
I don't think it was that
2 or
bad.
3 other movies that he did where you were like, oh, these are not very good.
Baywatch wasn't that bad. They shouldn't have had the fat character, and other than that, it would have been fine.
The
Baywatch is
35-year-old
one
guy.
of my least favorite movies I've seen.
Baywatch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it committed to a tone. It didn't. There's like 4 different movies in that one movie.
Yeah.
None of them great.
But you know what?
All
That's
of them okay.
But these guys are all they're getting out there making 3, 4, 5 movies a month. And you know what? Not all of them are going to be great, but some of them are going to be gold. And that's what Hobbs and Shaw's coming out.
August
God, I
2nd.
can't wait for
21
that.
days, baby.
Oh, right. Now it is time
Skyscraper
for
was the other one I watched. Oh my god, what a terrible fucking movie.
out now on streaming platforms. So these are all for the United States streaming services. If you want to look them up, it's not hard to go and find them, but like it's cool to see what's coming out. It's the start of the month, or it was last week, so there's a lot. Here we go. Hulu, Amityville Horror, Bad Santa, The Benchwarmers, Big Fish. I love that movie. I love that movie so much. Child's Play, Con Air. That's good.
Con Air's
Child's Play and Con Air are good movies that I really want to sit down and watch again.
Con Air top 5 movies of all time. Okay.
Desperately Seeking Susan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How's it going?
I don't remember what that movie's about.
So Madonna and Rosanna Arquette.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Evolution, Hard Candy. This is still just Hulu. Minority Report, Mission Impossible 2, Open Waters, Reservoir Dogs, Revenge of the Nerds, Spaceballs, Species, Superbad, Swingers, The Silence of the Lambs. Oh, such a good movie. Veronica Mars, complete season 1 through 3, and there's a movie coming out soon. So if you want to catch up, now's the time.
Is that
Yeah.
Veronica Mars?
Yeah.
Did it already come out?
No.
There was a
another
movie
movie?
coming. There's a movie that came out a few years ago. There's a new movie coming out.
Yeah. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, complete season 13. Oh shit, I've also been watching that. It's all right. It's fine. It's more always. I mean, it's. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's like on
Oh,
par.
I thought you were just saying about the show in general.
No,
Okay,
no.
just,
I mean, it's a great show.
yeah.
And then we got The Venture Brothers, complete season 7.
People are saying it's not a movie, it's a new season of Veronica Mars.
All right, whatever. Dude. Nobody cares about Veronica Mars.
Hey
you know what
man,
I mean, that's on them.
There's
That's on them.
There's about
Cool
as many
Greg used to
people-
care, but he's over it.
There's about as many people that care about Veronica Mars as there are about the new Psych movie.
Yep.
So you shut your fucking mouth, sir, because I'm one of them. You
Kevin,
shut your
really
mouth.
quick. It was Mission Impossible 3, not 2.
You're right.
Yeah.
Good catch. Amazon. It's so nice that I have someone monitoring that. It's really reassuring. Amazon Prime. We've got True Grit, the 2010 version.
I've never seen the original version.
Airplane.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Airplane 2, the sequel.
Also a great movie.
An American Werewolf in London. Minority Report. Mission Impossible 3. Interesting. They're on both. Open Waters. Rocky 1 through 5. Rush Hour 1 and 2 and 3.
I want to watch Rush Hour again.
But
I also
why
don't
wouldn't they
want to
get
watch
Rush Hour 2?
again.
You know what we should do? You and I should
Maybe it's on there
sit
already.
down, cook a pizza.
Yeah.
And we'll watch Rush Hour and Money Talks. Remember
I don't
that
think
one?
I've ever seen Money Talks.
With Charlie Sheen and Chris
Didn't they
Tucker.
make a sequel
I
recently?
never saw that.
Who the fuck knows? It was a great movie.
No, I'm thinking Wall Street.
Rush Hour 1 and 2 specifically were like so formative to
So close. Let me get through this.
my childhood and who I am as a person. And I am horrified that they don't hold up. What the fuck?
Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
This is the worst
First
show.
Wife Clubs, Under the
remember
Silver
this?
Lake.
No.
It's great.
And now we have Netflix. That's Caddyshack, Cloverfield, Lady in the Water, Philadelphia, Rain Man, Roadhouse, which is a great movie. You should go watch.
Roadhouse is so
Swordfish, Taxi Driver, The Hangover, The American, The Book of Eli. Shout outs to one Gary Whitta. Stranger Things Season 3, Disney's Mary Poppins Returns. That was too many sheets.
And Dark Season 2, and that was it.
And Dark Season 2. Excellent. That was your show for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow Nick at
Nick_Scarpino.
there it is, or Tim at
Tim Caddies.
There it is, or me at Kind of Funny Kevin. You should stay home and watch Stranger Things if you haven't seen it. Binge it all.
Yes, you should.
It's great. All of it's fantastic.